Hey guys, and welcome back to Steal the Spotlight. Today's video is going to be a special occasion look inspired by, in my opinion, one of the most stylish celebrities, Blake Lively. So I'll be running through the makeup, hair and outfit that I think will be perfect for any sort of formal event. So Blake never seems to have a lot going on with her makeup, however her skin always looks flawless. So I'm starting out by priming with this 3-in-1 correction just so all of my skin tone looks nice and even. And then of course going in with a full coverage foundation. I love the L'Oreal Infallible because you can just do one application and it gives you the perfect coverage. You don't have to keep going in and layering it so it doesn't look cakey. Then of course time to conceal, and I'm going to do under my eyes as well as down the center of my face just to highlight. And I finally caved and got the Nars creamy concealer and I do not regret it. I definitely think it's worth the money. Moving on to brows, everyone does this differently, so I'm not trying to mimic the shape of Blake's eyebrows or anything like that because it is just an inspired look. So I just did my normal everyday routine. Then of course going in with a powder just to set that concealer. Then I'm just going to go in with a fairly light contour simply because Blake's face never seems overly chiseled. For her it's more about the glow. So after that I'm actually going to go in with another bronzer to add that effect. So of course taking that over the cheekbones, up into the temples, down the jawline, over the nose, pretty much everywhere because Blake really has that sun-kissed California glow, so that's what we're aiming for. So I'm going to go in with Benefit's High Beam on the top of the cheekbones, and then also going to set that with Hard Candy's powder here, and I'm going to take that down the center of the face, kind of where we concealed earlier. Moving on to the eyes, it's time to prime them just so the shadows really stand out. It's very rare to see Blake with a smoky sort of eye. She does have hooded lids, so she keeps it quite simple. I'm going in with a Stila foil shadow because she always has a really light pearlescent color on the lid. Of course we need to blend that out a little bit though, so just taking a matte brown, medium brown sort of color from the Stila palette, I'm just going to take that through the crease to blend it out and make it look a little bit more seamless. From the same palette, taking a highlighting shade, I'm going to take that underneath the brow bone, and it's really important to take it on the inner part of the eye, the inner tear duct area, because Blake always has this heavily highlighted. She also tends to have a white through the waterline. That is always a little bit too stark for me, so I'm taking a nude color instead. And then under the eye, taking that matte brown color again, just to help make the eyes appear a little bit larger. Again, because Blake does have quite hooded eyelids, she never goes for anything too heavy with the eyeliner, so I'm just applying a really thin line just so it's easier for me to blend my false lashes. And I did actually apply the lashes off camera simply because it's really hard to do without a proper mirror. These ones are from Social Eyes and they're called T's. They're just kind of outer half lashes. So of course to finish up the look we need to apply some lipstick. Blake usually goes for one of two options, either a bright red or a nude, but do keep in mind that her nude usually has more of a peachy sort of undertone to it rather than a brown. And that is actually the finished makeup look. I think that it looks fairly inspired by Blake Lively. Obviously I still don't look like her, that was not the point of this tutorial. So time to move on to the hair, and as we know Blake often wears braids in her hair. In particular she does this gorgeous high ponytail braid which I'm obsessed with. I don't have long hair so I'm using the help of my hair extensions here. I'm not very good at explaining this, so I'm actually going to leave a link to a video tutorial that I watched to make sure that you can get the perfect ponytail using hair extensions, but it is pretty easy once you watch the video. Obviously, if you already have medium to long hair, you can totally skip that step, and all you have to do is whack your hair up into a high ponytail around the crown of your head, and just make sure that you can get it fairly smooth. Sometimes Blake does have quite messy hairstyles, so it doesn't matter too much, but for the particular photo I was looking at, it was quite smoothed back. So then once you're happy with how smooth it is and everything like that, just brush through the ponytail to make sure there's no tangles, because it is time to split the hair into 3 sections and simply just start doing just a basic braid. If you don't know how to do this, I think you can tell pretty easily from just watching me cross it over, but yeah, it's super simple. Then I'm just going to finish it off with a bit of hairspray to make sure it holds up perfectly throughout the night. But this is such a simple hairstyle to do for a special event. I still think it looks really effective. So there you have it, the finished makeup and hair. I think that it's really gorgeous. It's not over the top, so if you're someone who doesn't usually wear a lot of makeup, I think this still works well for you. And of course, you just need those last minute touches before you head out the door, like your favorite perfume. This one is Marc Jacobs Daisy Dream. And a quick touch up on your nails as well. I'll have this shade listed down below. So I'm pretty sure that just about all of my favorite Blake Lively red carpet moments were when she was wearing a red dress. I just think it looks stunning. Obviously, I wanted to recreate something similar. She often also wears a strapless dress, particularly if all of her hair is slicked back, because it emphasizes her décolletage. So I think that this definitely looks like something Blake would rock, and I'm obsessed with it. Plus, it was only $90, which I think is pretty good for formal wear. So that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below telling me which celebrity you'd like to see in the future.